TG Geeks, episode 50, December 7th, 2015. Something special for our 50th? You bet. Hello and welcome to another webcast from tggeeks.com, where Ben and Keith, the two gay geeks, talk about all aspects of geekdom and nerdery. Sci-fi, comics, film, horror genre. You name it, we talk about it. I am Keith Lane. We are coming to you from TG Squared Studios in lovely Phoenix, Arizona.
And I'm Ben Raggington, also coming to you from... Holy crud, what a gorgeous weekend in so many different ways, Phoenix, Arizona.
Well, welcome to our 50th episode. Can you believe we've already done 50 episodes?
50 episodes, and
that's amazing.
Wow, I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate 50.
And we have a real treat for you this time. In our first half, we have an interview with the filmmakers of the movie I Am Alone. That was screened at Phoenix Comic-Con Fan Fest this last weekend, so let's get to it. And this week we have a special treat for you. We have the filmmakers of the I Am Alone movie, Michael Weiss and Robert Palmer.
And we're here at Phoenix Comic-Con Fan Fest.
Exactly. So... who wants to take it first? Robert, you want to talk?
Sure, yeah. It's
Say who
amazing.
you are and give
well,
us a
thanks
little
for having
background.
us, guys.
Sure.
Hey, it's our pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.
Believe
so
me,
much for
our
having us
pleasure.
on.
Seriously.
I'm Robert. I wrote and directed the film, and along with Michael, and we had a great time. And a couple of years ago, real kind of brief thing. We're here because Gareth David Lloyd, the star of our movie, is here at FanFest, and we shot our film. He's the lead in our film, and we shot it back in 2013, and we haven't seen him. And then we still are in communication. We talk pretty frequently, but he told us maybe like 2 weeks ago he hadn't seen the film in its entirety. So we were like, okay, this is a great opportunity for us to come down. And FanFest was gracious enough to allow us to screen the film last night.
It was incredible.
Oh, it's fantastic.
We'd watched it twice. That's my second twice.
Last night was my third.
Yeah.
Oh.
And
Yeah, my third time.
it holds up pretty well.
Yeah, no, the film has been kind of taking a little life of its own, and the reality aspect of it, which is what we both have worked in,
Right.
kind of works for the film.
What
works
is-
in how we shot it.
What has the reception been gradually? Because how long have you been taking it to cons or festivals or anything like that? How long has that been?
Not too long. It's
Only since maybe
6 months.
But
maybe?
not even
August.
August.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, we finished the edit in April, I'd say. We were kind of like screening it for friends and family to
Filmmakers.
do our changes and stuff.
Wow.
But we kind of just started in August.
The first public viewing of the film was at the Star Drive-In in Montrose, Colorado, where we shot the film.
That's awesome.
Oldest drive-in in America.
Family owned.
Wow.
Single family.
That's
67
incredible.
years.
That's
Since
incredible.
like 1949. So,
Wow.
so when we shot the film, the whole town in 2013, opened the door for us. They closed either their main street so we can shoot. So when we finally finished the film, for like the last 6 months leading up to that, pretty much from the beginning of this year, people were all like, when's this movie coming to town?
Well, that brings up a question, something that I was kind of curious about. So a lot of the walkers that we see, a lot of the infected that we see in the movie, especially in the town, were they local?
Well, some people.
Oh yeah, lots of them. Yeah.
Some people came in from like an hour and a half away to
Wow.
be zombies.
Yeah. They announced.
Joe.
Oh yeah, our friends, our sisters came in.
Yeah.
They all came to participate.
Became an event.
Yeah.
They announced it like they had 3 schools there from
cool.
like what K to
It was
K
like
to 12.
like middle school pretty much.
They
and
announced
Right.
it all over, so we had like a buttload of kids.
we had
there.
269
Wow.
extras.
Yeah,
Wow.
everyone came
That's
out.
incredible.
Yeah,
We
it
had
was
like little
crazy.
girl. She was like maybe 4, dressed up in zombie
Oh my
makeup and
gosh.
stuff. It was
Wow.
That's cute. I now you have to watch it a fourth time.
really
Happily.
Just to see.
Yeah.
But I want to see, okay, do we have any children walkers? I mean, that would be kind of a lot of fun. I can really enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that the movie, according to the website, the I'm Alone website, it seems to have racked up a fair amount of awards in a very, very, very short period of time. So I'm taking that the reaction thus far, even though you haven't had much time to really show it around at cons or festivals, I'm assuming the reaction's been positive.
It's been very positive. You know, we knew when we set out to make I Am Alone, there were a couple things that we knew weren't necessarily going to be for us, more against us. Is we're going to be making a zombie film. You know, there's a gluttony, there's so many of them, and there's going to be a found footage aspect. But we like to call it horror-mentary because, to me, to define found footage is like we're a bunch of idiots who know there's a ghost in the building. We're going to find it, and the camera is going to capture the nonsense. I mean, that's every found footage film ever. I mean, even though Cloverfield is a kind of a model for us because they were just like inherently just sort of shooting their life and things happen. So we kind of modeled our style. Like, these people aren't going to know what's happening. The world's going to, you know, evolve and devolve around them. So when the movie started going around, people started going, this is like one of the most original takes. And we were so grateful that people saw that. And other people, I think some people were like, this is better than like 90% of the movies we've seen in the theater. Like or Redbox or Netflix.
Well, I think that when we set out to make the movie, Rob and I had a very different idea on zombies and telling this story different because, like he said, it is saturated, and you have to kind of weed through to find what you like. But we kind of decided early on that to make this different movie. So now when people see it, they all come out and they're like, we were expecting another zombie film.
Gory, cheesy.
Right.
We got this other character study. And
Yeah.
They're expecting a George Romero movie.
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest, I'm not a zombie fan at
That's
all.
all we hear a lot,
at
too.
all.
Yeah.
I mean, Night of the Living Dead scared the hell out of me.
Right,
you know?
Yeah.
And then I watched, I think, Dawn of the Dead or one of the others, but I've just never been a zombie, and found footage just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, your film, and I'm honest, it has changed my mind, and it's amazing how we have discovered new genres and new things through independent films that we never knew we liked before, because we went to Horrible Imaginings Film Festival, and it's too bad you guys couldn't have got into that.
They rejected us.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh my
we're
God.
going to
Well,
have
I'll talk to Miguel.
We're going to talk to Miguel.
They rejected us. They're in San Diego,
Really?
right?
Yeah.
Well,
Wow.
Well, Miguel did say when we interviewed him that he had way too many offerings.
He had like 500 films that he had to weed through from all over the world.
Wow.
But you know, we'll talk.
We'll
to
have a
Miguel.
chat with him
We'll resubmit.
because this movie
Yeah.
needs to be seen. I mean,
Yeah.
it is very, very original. And one of the things that I really liked about it is that by deconstructing it, by really just breaking it down to simply our lead character, Jacob Fitz, this movie is now deeply personal.
Yeah. Oh,
And
absolutely.
that's one of the things that you really don't get so much in a lot of the big Hollywood zombie films is it's always, it's us versus them. And by really making it about Jacob and seeing the deterioration that's happening to him, I mean, especially the fact that Jacob's a really likable guy.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was important to us.
Yeah.
I mean, if he
setting
was
him up like that,
if he's a schmuck, then we don't care.
Right.
But by making him just this really nice, just affable guy, and getting Gareth was the perfect choice for that, because who doesn't love Gareth David Lloyd?
Right.
Exactly.
He was amazing. We were so fortunate. I met him at a con at the Fandom Fest in Kentucky in 2012.
Kentucky.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that was random. I had this
Random
short film,
fandom.
and it was the Fright Night Film Fest, and they had
wow.
one block of sci-fi films, and we made this sci-fi like alien invasion. Also found footage, because that was like my first foray into trying that, and it got into this one block. We didn't win any awards, but out of it, we met Gareth. We were hanging out. I gave him a copy of the movie, and he was like, "I really liked what you guys did, and if there's something down the line that could be worked out, and
Far
it was
out.
like, well, as a matter of fact,
we
we
have
do.
We did have something.
And we were like,
Yeah.
Well, now,
Cool.
so obviously you guys are horror fans.
yes.
Yeah.
What is it about horror that makes that such a popular genre? I mean, people, for some reason, that's like really come back a lot now.
It's the thing.
It's
now.
really
Yeah,
hot now.
It's huge.
I mean, and we're not just talking zombie movies,
Right,
but
right.
different kinds of horror films are just really huge box office hits right now. What is it about going into a theater to have the life scared out of you that makes people want to come back? Is it the adrenaline rush?
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna say it's the act of being scared. I think.
Right,
I think
right.
the anxiety you get with watching The Conjuring and watching movies like The Exorcist. Someone coming around the corner.
Right.
You place the camera in a certain spot, and today I think we're getting filmmakers who really know how to
Right.
make horror. Like
Understand.
it's not just gore for gore's sake. They're
Right.
like, we're gonna scare you, and we
But
know
it's
how.
kind of like a Hitchcock sort of take on that. I mean,
Yeah,
it's all about the filmmaking because
we saw a lot of films.
we saw a
that-
ton of films
that were
at San
not
Diego.
no gore, no nothing. It was just scared the hell out of you.
Scare the crap out of
just
you.
by the filmmaking
Yeah.
and what you didn't see sometimes.
Yeah, well,
you
that,
know.
well, we could all thank Spielberg for Jaws for the,
Yeah,
for the
exactly.
shark not working.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
creating that suspense. But I also think someone I was talking to briefly, another filmmaker, and we were talking about horror films and the same love, and he said horror films breeds innovation.
Right.
And I think that's what when we set out to make Island was, how can we innovate this knowing we don't have a budget? Because the original, to be honest with you, I don't know. The original idea was it was going to be like a $1,000 like to
Oh,
$10.
wow.
Like we were literally, there was no Gareth. It was just going to be like a guy in the woods.
Right.
And it was going to be the same idea. And then it just was like, we can do more. It can be better. Like if we can raise a Kickstarter, and that's when the Kickstarter stuff took off in 2012. We're like, well, if we can do this, we can make this film.
Right.
And we know we can build. It was a very conscious decision to build our story with our cameras. So with the GoPros being popular, we use 5-6 different cameras. The audience will understand what we're trying to accomplish because you don't need to shoot on a Red or Alexa or an Harry. Like it's not needed.
Yeah.
So
you don't need a $100,000 camera.
horror
to
films,
tell
you're
a
allowed.
story. Yeah.
Horror films, you can be
Exactly.
innovative, and there's numerous filmmakers that have gone on to do all sorts of different films, but they started in horror films.
Yeah,
You know.
Well, especially if you're trying to make your story narrative on a very personal level like you did with I'm Alone, then it allows you to do things like on an iPhone or on a GoPro, and it helps to drive the story even further forward. Now, one of the things that we noticed as we were watching this film is that there are just tons and tons of little hints about homages to other films. One of the things that we noticed last night when we had this watched it at the con last night, something that there was a really great scene. And I would say that one kind of scene that just always freaks the crap out of me. Don't ask me why. It's just me. It's when you have these security cam shots. Yeah. I don't know why, but there's something horribly unsettling. It's like every
Voyeuristic.
Yeah.
maybe that's it.
You. Yeah.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the voyeurism.
Yeah.
Because every time I'm watching it, all I can think in the back of my head is, this isn't going to end well.
Yeah.
It always gets to me.
Right.
But there's this great scene. The power generator kind of fluctuates a little bit, and all of a sudden you got this dot matrix printer that's going off. And I leaned over to Keith. I said, I'm feeling a little bit of Andromeda strain here all of a sudden.
You're correct.
Yeah, that is an influence.
And something else is like there's an alarm that's going off at one point, and I thought, War of the Worlds. It's the war machine that you hear in the classic George Pal film.
That's from our sound designer.
Yeah, our sound designer. Is there a TARDIS in there somewhere in this one?
No,
in People of Earth, we
Oh, no,
threw
that
it-
would've
we
been
threw a TARDIS. Like we buried a TARDIS.
That would've been funny
I
with
can tell you,
Gareth.
our sound designer definitely pulled from War of the Worlds.
Oh, cool.
He loves that movie.
Yeah, we made a very
Tom Scamadio.
we've seen more movies than probably most film programmers have seen, just because even when we set out to write anything or to shoot I'm Alone, we studied other films. So when we wrote this like Dr. Marlowe character in the movie, it was Dr. Marlowe is a reference from Hearts of Darkness from the Joseph Conrad book. So he's Dr. Marlowe. So there's another, and that is obviously Apocalypse Now, a man's descent into madness. So that's a leap, but it's not. It was a very conscious decision to name him Dr. Marlowe because of Hearts of Darkness, which is one of my favorite. I guess it's a novella. It's not a very long book. So when we started studying, like we watched like Outbreak, we watched Andromeda Strain. I mean, we watched anything that revolved around like the CDC and that sort of thing, and the tone of Andromeda Strain, just like that slow sort of pacing going floor.
And we're
by
talking the
floor.
original.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not that horrible remake that came out some years ago.
Yeah, no.
not
I didn't
that.
even remember that came out.
I don't want to remember.
That's out of my mind.
So when we did the doctor like scenes, that was definitely like something we wanted to like throw out there. I don't know if there's any other references in that room.
In that room?
Yeah,
I don't
that
think
are
so.
references to anything.
No, I don't think so. It's more in the Jacob and the Jacob scenes. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
like throughout the universe.
yeah. Most of Mason and Jacob have a lot of
Yeah,
Carpenter references.
There's
Yeah.
numerous.
Numerous Carpenter references.
Yeah,
in
there's.
there.
You want to tell us what the references to the movies are? Or do you want people to figure it out?
Let's let some of them try to figure it out. I admit
we don't
I'm-
want to give too many
No,
spoilers.
and I admittedly, I mean, I think John Carpenter is a brilliant filmmaker. My favorite film of his, of course, is not a horror film. It's Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, yeah.
You know what's funny? My favorite film is Starman. I love
really?
Starman.
Wow.
Starman's a very good film.
I love it.
I
Yeah,
do
He
enjoy
makes
it.
fun of it.
That's his favorite film.
I love it.
I just think it's a little
my
too
mom's.
slow sometimes.
It's
Really?
my mom loves that film, but
I love
in
Starman.
terms of his horror work, I mean, I will always go to Halloween,
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
which I
Yeah.
kid you not, I
Oh,
did not sleep
my.
for
Halloween
a week.
is-
Yeah.
I mean, I was in my late teens when I saw that film, and I didn't sleep for a week. It absolutely scared me out of my mind, and it's not a gore film in the slightest.
Oh
No,
no,
not at
no.
It's a
all.
everything
Yeah.
is hidden. Everything's behind.
And you know, and the
veil.
way
Yeah.
Michael stalks,
Yeah.
it's that relentless
Yep.
It's
sensation.
that voyeuristic look,
Yeah.
through the mask.
Through the
everything
mask.
you're
Exactly.
seeing.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I didn't even think about it, but our first foray, I guess, in the horror
yes.
films, I never
That was a
even thought
long
about
time
it.
ago,
Me and Mike have been friends since like we were 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
So we've been
Yeah.
friends
This is
since.
great.
So
Yeah,
we've been
very
friends
long
for
time.
years, and we've been making like our own little shorts. I made shorts in high school, but when Halloween H2O came out. We were like, hey, let's. We were like,
we
let's.
thought it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
We basically said
We can make it better.
No, we can make it funny.
Yeah, we can make it funnier.
okay.
Well, because we said, I think in that one, like Mike Myers travels, and even in the new one, like
the Rob Zombie
in
ones.
the Rob Zombie ones, like Mike Myers goes on a journey, and we were like, really, Mike Myers?
Does he
goes
go to
on a
like the
journey?
7-Eleven?
Really?
He's in line for like a
he had to-
Klondike
he
bar.
had to
Like,
get
what?
from, like,
Yeah.
But
Like,
he had to
why
get
would
from,
he?
like Iowa to like
Yeah, because it was
Hatton-
Josh Hartnett, right?
Yeah.
He traveled like hundreds of miles. He had to get fuel somehow. Granted, he
there's
could kill
tolls.
people,
Right.
but like somebody would have seen.
He's got to eat.
And he
Yeah.
was driving. Like, is he going to be driving on the highway?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
so we came up.
his
So the
mask.
first thing
Yeah,
we
right.
came up with, Halloween
CO2.
CO2. And we shot. I don't know if the VHS footage or the VHS-C or high 8 footage
Yeah,
even
we shot
exists,
some
but we
stuff.
shot basically the opening of this, and we built a jib out of like a pool. Like
So, yeah,
skimmer,
full
we
Oh,
built
wow.
like a.
Oh, wow.
So like we built it, and we had it. My buddy,
do a big
wow, I
crane
can't-
move.
My buddy,
It
my
was
buddy
funny.
George, our high school buddy George, is like a 6'2" guy, and we're like, "You want to play Mike Myers?" And we bought a mask,
Yeah.
and
his
dad had
a very awful 1982 van.
like
Oh,
for
man.
work,
Like one of
So-
those ones when you hit the gas, the exhaust comes through the
Yeah.
air conditioning.
So we shot all this stuff with our buddy George's Mike Myers, like driving
On
through
Halloween.
and then we went. It was a 2-day shoot.
Yeah.
We shot in my backyard, and we had like it was just this like crazy little thing.
Yeah.
We didn't know if we were gonna finish. We never finished it. We shot the stuff, but then we went on Halloween. We had him walk around. Actually,
Oh
with a
my
real
God.
knife,
Yeah, with a
which
real
was not a
knife,
smart
yeah.
thing. No one got hurt,
Yeah,
but we
thank
shot all this.
God.
We shot all this like far away footage of like, and everybody would walk up to him, and he stayed in character. And it was.
What about getting pulled over by the cops?
Oh, and then
Oh,
yeah.
no.
yeah, we,
Oh, you hit the
no.
dolly, the wheelchair dolly.
We're in the van.
Yeah.
Remember driving around
Yeah,
in the
it
van?
did look kind
You
of
know,
like-
you got three guys. One guy who needs to wear a mask while driving the van
Yeah.
at night
I
in
totally-
like a suburban
And if you,
area.
and if you don't have
about
any
this.
like the film permit,
No,
in the
no,
city,
no. Oh, yeah.
no one's gonna
Permits.
know.
No, I immediately told him, "You got to pull into my driveway. Pull in. My dad will come out, and the cop will then stop. He'll
So-
know it's all legit."
It was crazy, and it turned out that because of that, I guess we were shooting other things. That was like the biggest thing
Yeah.
to that point was we were, at least my house was known as like, it must be those guys that like filmmakers.
Oh yeah, we filmed
Like
everything
they knew
in
they
your
would pull up
backyard.
and be like, it's like literally there's one cop who always had to pull up. You know, it was like
Yeah.
almost a running joke. Be like, seriously, you guys? I should have known.
can't.
It was you
Yeah.
guys.
I've got this visual gag of Michael coming into a Circle K and
It
then
was.
just
That's
just
exactly
grabbing,
what-
take the knife and then like going, impaling a Snickers and then holding it up to the cash register.
that's
exactly what we were
and
thinking.
the guy just rings it up
literally
while
what-
it's still on the knife.
That's literally what it was. That was literally like, and we wrote it.
We had him standing in line at like Wawa. We were like,
Wawa
you
was
would
a
need to eat
supermarket, like a
something?
convenience store.
The bathroom scene was
Yeah,
the best.
we were like 20 when we did all this.
Yeah,
like
that's
we were,
funny.
it was like 98, and these
Oh
and
my
these people really like the neighborhood was like, what are these guys doing? And we lived in a suburban neighborhood.
Yeah, but your
So-
backyard was our
was like
playground.
but in the front yard, we like there was a one shoot. We had like a wheelchair dolly. I had like a camera on like a board, and we were like following Mike, like walking through the neighborhood. And like the neighbors were like, they saw like 10 people. They saw like a commotion, and then again the cops pulled up and said like, so they finally were like,
It's called
can you?
Jewish moms.
Yeah. They were like, can you call us before you do stuff? They didn't ask for permission. They're like, can you just like give us a heads up? They're actually gonna be, and we did.
I'm thinking this movie needs to be finished, and then if you could
revive it.
if you could get Jamie Lee
She
to
would
do
she
a
would do
cameo,
it.
she would
She
do it
would do
because
it.
she has got an excellent sense of humor.
Yeah,
she's
she does.
she's an awesome
We
lady.
saw him speak, John, and last year at the Beyond Fest, we saw John introduce the 40th of Halloween
it was
with
the
Jamie
first time
Lee.
they were on stage together since
since-
Halloween.
or
They-
Christmas.
Wow.
So we
Yeah.
saw that, and Jamie was so fun. Like she
Yeah.
like had
She's got a great spirit about her.
sense of self.
Yeah.
I think like she understood like, and then she was like, I don't get any work, and she gets Scream Queens. You know? So
Oh my God!
Right?
Yeah, right.
I had to stop watching after like what was it 2 or 3
Oh,
episodes
Scream
because it
Queens.
was just too crazy. it was
Yeah,
just
it's-
like it was insane. You know,
Yeah, it's-
it's
I
out
can't
there.
handle that much insanity.
No. But to have her do a little cameo in
But
there,
she was
I
great.
I think she would really have a very good attitude about that,
Yeah.
and it would help tie in CO2 to HTI.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was-
it could be really great.
It was. We had a lot of
funny.
fun, and then like like any other like independent, especially when you're like a kid, it just
Right.
like we just moved on to something else. But we shot for, I would say at least 3 or 4 like nights, days on this thing. We lit my backyard.
It
Oh
would
my.
stand up right next to like Hardware Wars or Porklips
Yeah.
Now or
Yeah.
things like
Oh,
that. It would
yeah.
be great.
Definitely
Hardware
would.
Wars. I remember
Hardware
watching that as a
Wars
kid.
is
Yeah,
fun.
it would be a great deal of fun to do that.
Wow.
So going back to I'm Alone, I'm really fascinated.
That was a
with,
nice tangent.
Yeah, thank you. I'm really proud of myself. Thank you very much. One of the things that I really, that of course, that helps make this movie stand out is the filmmaking, the
Yes.
manner
Thank
in
you.
which it's done. Did Gareth literally film all of his scenes like isolated?
So it was interesting. Our DP Adrian Sirkowski, phenomenal. We asked so
There's
much
a lot
of
of him. Yeah.
and we were under some serious pressure up on that mountain just because
Oh,
there was
yeah.
just no electricity, there was no power. Michael
Yeah.
couldn't edit, so we decided like we have to figure out how to do this like as easy as we could. And sort of the trick for us was Gareth. Anytime the camera's physically mounted on his head, obviously it's him. But some of the other stuff, more Mason, we were able to. You wouldn't know who's behind. If sometimes if someone's not behind the camera, like I've shot stuff in like some of the stuff I shot Adrian. So sometimes like in the wider stuff, especially with the 3, I was gonna say Adrian with Gunnar, Mason,
And Rory.
Mason, Jacob, and Adam are characters.
right.
Like so, if there's 3, sometimes like I would jump on one of the cameras and shoot the other side and Adrian.
Right.
So it wasn't. They weren't always doing it, but if you see.
I don't remember any shot where all 3 of them were in the view.
Yeah, it was.
In that in
At the-
that
at the very opening.
in the no there isn't.
Oh,
There's
maybe-
not
There
one,
isn't
which is
because
why
it,
I
it
always
opens
thought.
on Mason shooting Adam and Gareth.
Yeah,
So like
Yeah,
some
you
of
never
the-
see all 3
yeah.
of them in the same scene.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, that's a good
It
point.
just, it just seems like they're because
That's
they're all
why-
3.
Yeah.
The way it switches around.
That was
Yeah.
the kind of the easiest way for us to get the audience used to different cameras. You know,
Right,
like
right,
this
right,
is
right.
going to be shot by the people who are shooting the reality show. So
Right.
kind of to get them used to, okay, when we're seeing this look, it's Mason or
Right.
Gareth.
Right.
You know,
And if
something
you
like
see
that.
like from a surveillance cam and you see like Gunnar shooting as Mason, he is rolling. I don't actually remember any of his actual footage shot, but sometimes we would like then step Adrian in and then do the proper interview.
his footage
to
was
shoot.
mostly horrible.
Right.
Anytime Mason had to shoot.
So we actually needed something on camera. Like we had the cowgirl on camera.
Right.
Like that we just would have replaced that with our DP would have just shot that, and then we would have just used the surveillance footage of the 3 characters. So, so it did require some sort of strategic filmmaking, but most of it, like when they're on camera, like when Mason's in the cabin and he just turns it on and he just has to deliver his dialogue. I mean, there's no tricks there. There's some editing tricks in that scene.
There was some really what I would call creepy shots, and that's when Mason is kind of running with that. It has that weird,
also
slow
the camera
kind
angle.
of odd motion.
Are we talking about like the Indiana Jones? What do you call it? The Indiana
just
Jones
creepy.
Scene?
Yeah, you don't.
When he's
you
like
haven't
running
seen
on the
that
pipe.
stuff.
When he's running on the pipe.
That's one of them.
Yeah.
And what helps to make it very unsettling, of course, is the fact that it is at a weird angle.
Yeah.
So it creates a sense of, I think, claustrophobia and almost a sense of vertigo.
Yeah.
Because it's very unsettling to watch. It is. It's very jarring.
Right.
I mean, at times, especially if you're prone to motion sickness, you're going to have to close your eyes a little bit because it's just such a weird thing to see in terms of that angle. Because obviously, when a person is running, they may not. I mean, well, I guess in the case of Mason, when he's running along the pipe, he's going to want to look down, make sure he doesn't slip or anything like that.
Right.
But when he's just running on the ground, the camera at many times it almost has this fisheye look towards the ground, and that's very distorting.
Yeah.
Which is a great effect.
And that was in camera.
It added some creepiness to the film.
Well, that was something we talked a lot about because a lot of that fisheye we were actually going to remove. And we were going to flatten those frames out.
I'm glad you didn't.
But I think the more we watched it, the more we kind of felt that the fisheye just helped enhance that scene, like you guys are saying. Yeah.
Well, that was the thing. We had budget limitations for being a Kickstarter, and we literally another little secret is we thought like there was gonna be no blood in this movie. We're gonna go out with 1 gallon of blood. This is a totally true story. 1 gallon of blood.
Sorry about that.
We just didn't know.
We just laugh at you.
Yeah, we didn't know how big it was gonna get.
I mean, we're talking
huge.
Yeah,
we're
we
talking
thought 1
like
gallon was big. Okay.
We're talking like maybe 8 months before we even were going to Colorado. This was just like in discussion. Like, we can go with like 1 gallon of blood.
Well, you don't see a lot of blood.
No.
It's
but everybody has blood
and,
on
and,
them.
And the dressing around them or where the areas people walk, there are blood. There's a lot of subversive things in our film that if you watch it once or twice, or if you watch it 2 or 3 times, you'll pick up on.
Right. Well, Michael did an amazing job. We did like a lot of color palette stuff. So like, there's certain things that like the sky might be bluer, the grass might be greener, and there's like one scene which is what we call the 28 Days Later shot, is when Gareth hears the gunshot and he like runs and he's spinning the camera in like a marshy area.
Oh yeah.
There's actually a whole area that's covered in blood, but it's on the ground. And that's a little secret. That's a little IMDb trivia. Like
he's kind of standing in an area that has blood. You see like
it's
the
faded,
trees
but
around
it's
them.
like and because he's looking up and he's spinning the camera. So if you're actually looking down away, because that was a conscious decision. We know as an audience we're watching, you're always going to watch the talent,
right?
And then if you watch a second time, you might just be watching more of the performance. Watch it a third or fourth time, and you're going to be like, wait, is that blood? That might be just like the sun hitting, and it's like, no, it's blood.
Well, it was the
I
setup,
will say that I didn't notice any continuity errors, and those drive me crazy.
Okay.
Drive me
As
crazy.
the editor, they drive me crazy.
It's just
too.
like
we see
all the time. I'm saying, stop, go
Pause,
back,
pause, rewind. I saw something.
And we're talking about major network television continuity errors, and it's like, really?
Off camera, we can tell you a couple.
But I did nothing that I noticed that was glaring, shall we say?
And I think the truth is that because of the style and the grittiness of the film, that I think it gives us liberties. Like there is a scene. It's not a continuity error. It's like sometimes you see Gareth's mic pack, and sometimes you don't, but that's because he's got a show.
Right.
So that's not a continuity error.
No.
That's because that should belong, and it's raw footage we're watching.
Right. Exactly.
So we don't have to hide everything. It can exist.
I also think that we shot with 6-7 cameras rolling at once, so it kind of made it a lot easier for us to cut together and keep the continuity going.
But not easier to group in the edit.
Whoops.
That's one thing
time code.
That I really loved, especially when you're telling Jacob's story. The editing is so
Michael did
flawless.
Thank you.
Because, as I wrote in my review, which you can read on tggeeks.com, ding!
It's a great review. I love
Thank you.
Where's my... I don't have my.
You don't have your soundboard. Sorry about that. Need a bell.
No
Bing.
sound effects.
Oh yeah, I have
Just add it
a
in
sound
post.
effects board.
You use a sound
Add it in
effects board.
post.
Well, it's kind of hard with Audacity.
Oh well. But what really helps is, I mean, obviously the writing is amazing because you gave Gareth
yeah.
some fantastic material to work
Yeah,
with.
he did.
The directing again is great because it helps to channel what he's doing
Yeah.
into something that you know obviously suits your vision, and then the editing, because to be able to see his descent happen in a very even, good pace, but keeps the dramatic tension going at the same
Right.
time. That couldn't have been an easy thing to pull off.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and the increasing makeup as well, which I thought was brilliant.
Our makeup
Yeah.
team, we had
brilliant.
Rachel and her team. We went out and got a local girl did makeup, but she was actually from LA, and
Wow.
she we did a Kickstarter in the town, and she was like, "Hey, I'm a makeup artist." We're like, "Well, great, you're hired." Like it was
Cool.
and
She
so-
happened to move back
Wow.
a week before we were shooting. Or
Oh
something.
yeah, so she brought her friends out and did an amazing job, and we asked a lot of them, and we had people donated their we had ATVs donated us for the shoot,
Yeah.
Right.
and the
ATV trailer.
the trailer became our makeup because it could move. We just
Wow.
everyone's
Oh,
got a
yeah,
truck,
yeah.
so we would move it around, and so that was it wasn't as guerrilla for them. It was guerrilla for almost every other department, but they had lights, they had power, of every department.
Wow.
And I think that is why we were able to have the proper. They weren't stressed. I don't think
Right.
about. I mean, except when we ran out of blood. That we
Yeah.
were about a day away from running out of blood
Yeah.
after 8 gallons of blood.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I think it was really important for us to sort of tell that. So if the audience doesn't hook in with Jacob, with Gareth, then the movie doesn't work.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And he really sells it at the very beginning. I mean, that him coming down in the canoe and talking, and that's where it really starts for me. I mean,
Well, that
the
was
second time around, I got into it immediately because I knew what the
Where
film
it's
was
going.
about. But
Right.
the first part with Dr. Marlowe and Mason was for me a little disjointed and jarring. The first time around.
In the opening, I think that's what we kind of that's what kind of happened. I guess in the edit, we were trying to we had 3 or 4 different stories that we could have told in the edit
Right.
for the opening of Marlowe, and we put them all together, and we kind of decided that the best way to go was this. It's unsettling,
Right.
for the most part, the Marlowe stuff wasn't going to have music on it, and it was even more unsettling with music, and or without music. And once we put music to it, we started really, really enjoying the Marlowe scene,
Right.
and keeping you in the scene, and then keeping you what is going on.
Well, because
Right,
the whole
right.
thing is the story is built as this adventure movie. So when you start
Exactly.
in a room and you're like, wait, what the
Yeah.
can I curse?
Especially if you know what the movie's about.
yeah.
yeah.
It was unsettling, but once the movie really kind of got going, it's like, okay, I understand.
It's a
now.
slow
You know,
burn.
yeah.
And that was
But it
by
was
design.
the second time. It's like, okay, I'm into it. Now I can pay attention to what's going on there.
Yeah, within
Yeah,
the scenes.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it is a fair amount of information, but the secret is if you listen to, and I think when you watch,
Yes.
but if you listen to everything said in that opening
Yes,
scene,
absolutely.
people have debated the end of the movie, and that's not
yeah,
a spoiler, but everything is laid out in that opening scene.
Right.
It's just you go on a much more dramatic adventure
Exactly.
that you do not just have.
There's one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I won't say
Yeah.
it, but there's one key line.
Yeah.
exactly.
and but you don't realize, and I think we did such a successful job of putting you into the audience. So again, with found footage, you think you're just chasing and you don't care about the people, and then here there's somebody spilling his guts when he has this this
and the camera's always
Yeah.
on him.
and
Right.
when he comes down the river and he gets a call from his wife and he kind of blows her off, and you're
Right, right.
he's kind of maybe a dick, maybe he's not a nice guy, and then that story has a full cycle,
Right,
but you don't
right.
realize it at the time what we laid the groundwork for.
Exactly. Why she continued to call him.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the things
Exactly.
that
Oh, that was.
Yeah.
I won't put that. I won't say it. But it's like. Oh,
That was a very
man.
that scene that we're talking about. There's a scene where we have Jacob, later.
tree stand.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
tree
yeah.
stand.
that is a powerful scene.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
And
yeah.
that was important to us, and without being a spoiler, is in life, I think when things go bad, they don't always tend to get better
right
before
away,
things are going to get worse, and
Right.
especially so that scene, we've had different people react to that scene, and it's maybe you should remove it. Maybe you should put it back in. And I'm like, no. And I was like, it's a visceral response from you. There's it was never going to come out. But the fact that they were so emotional about the scene meant it succeeded.
Well, you said something during last night's Q&A that about that scene. Like you did.
Oh, the hug. That was my favorite scene to shoot.
Yeah. Because he was broken down.
Because it was
he definitely was.
We shot a lot of the movie was shot on Cirrus Summit, which was the mountain stuff, and that tree stand was actually shot on another property that
the Wild Bunch River Ranch.
Yeah, the Wild Bunch River Ranch. They had donated their plot. A couple of our actors were able to like stay there for the time being, and so it was another shooting location. And so it was our last night there, and we had like fog machines going, and we knew it was like maybe a week in the shooting, maybe 5 days in shooting, but we knew this was like a really important scene. And for Gareth, he had to be in a headspace that was, late in the story. It wasn't. We still had tons of his adventure to go on before he even transformed. But because of scheduling, we were like, all right, Gareth. So Michael and I.
Oh God, that makes it even harder for him.
Yeah. So we walked in and said, listen, now we had shot the very first things we'd ever shot was that we shot a bunch of wife videos. It was an actress friend of mine, Katie. In L.A. So we had shot that just like all over L.A. Michael and I just drove around. We were like, all right, we got to go on and we didn't use 90% of her footage because it just did. But that scene.
But we shot it for that purpose. Well, we shot it for his emotion. We knew we had to get this out of him.
Exactly.
And if we shot, we shoot 5 or 6 heartbreaking scenes. Yeah. All different subjects.
There were like happy ones, and the idea was always going to be like if we didn't know if a scene was playing out, we could always kind of go to the videos, but that scene always had the video. It was important. Yeah. And so he watched it. I didn't show it to him. I kept it from him till he was walking up that. I said,
that's a Steven Spielberg trick.
I was like, you're going.
That is a Spielberg trick.
That's what he did with kids.
Yeah.
He'd never tell them what was going on, and then he'd scare the hell out of them.
I would just say, you're going to watch a video, and you're going to react like this is. I might have sent her a picture of her and like give him like an idea of who she was, but the idea was like, you're going to have to deal with something really emotional, and you need to just own it.
Deal with your life.
You're trying to create an honest situation that that somebody that Jacob would respond to.
Yeah.
Because that is a really powerful scene, and you said that you heard him do the scream.
I honestly I immediately just now like flashback, and I remember standing. It was a cold night, and I just remember going, oh my God, like Gareth is doing it.
Crawl up there and hug him.
I did. He came down, and everybody. And I remember a couple of the crew members came up, and they literally like I don't know if Gareth was in the tune out, but they came up and they go, "Holy shit!" like that. And I was like, "Is that good?" They're like, "Yep." I'm nodding right now. They were like, "Yep, it's good." So that is one of my favorite scenes. Just from like I would say from a performance, from visual, it's the mountain scene when he's like yelling. That scene like visually is my favorite visual scene.
One of the things that I also really like is the music.
Yeah, the music was great.
Is
I was
really
thinking
minimal.
Halfway through that, I thought, wow, I've spent a lot of time on Pond 5, and it was like, oh my God, you guys have. It sounds like I don't know where you got your.
We have
a film composer.
Somebody actually composed it.
Adam Sanborn.
The music is very, very minimal, and at times because it's so minimal, it's just a sound here, sound there. Really creates a very eerie mood, and then finally, when you start to get a fleshed out kind of score, is when Mason sees Jacob on the horizon and starts to do the run, and of course, having already watched the movie, now, and I hear the music, and now it feels more gut wrenching.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're huge fans of Danny Boyle.
Yeah.
And John Murphy did the score for Sunshine. So we told Adam, and Adam he won an Emmy, right?
Yeah, Adam won an Emmy for Robot Chicken.
Cool. Years ago. So Adam's a friend of ours. He's a horror fan, so he was so excited. He had never, I think, scored a horror film, but he's a bigger horror fan than maybe both of us.
Adam's a part of our we
have a horror club.
Yeah, we have a horror club. It's a horror-thon. Every year. Stu Silverman and Dana Silverman.
They run
Dana Sellers.
They run a hard thing. So Adam's in. We told him about our movie.
Yeah. So and he ran with it. I mean, we had specific ideas.
It was
specific
amazing.
Movies and sounds that we wanted to watch. But I mean, he really nailed it for us.
Yeah, it was. We would sit in his like music bay and be like, all right, like, do we all love John Murphy? Do we love Sunshine? Let's find something. It's not a sound alike. It's like, but let's find the spirit of a music like that
to an ending.
Yeah, a set. So when you talk about like when we were talking earlier about like homage and stuff, like that's obviously not an homage, but like we're so ingrained in film that like we can take the best. I mean, sort of like how Tarantino knows how to make the style of he wants. And I'm not comparing us to Tarantino in any way, shape, or form. But I think his love of film is what comes across in his movies. And I think for us, you know, it's an amalgamation of all the love of film that we have, from horror to sci-fi, you know, Joseph Conrad and Dr. Marlowe. I mean,
it's total geek porn.
It is. It really is. And Adam did an amazing job. And I listen to it. I just will be driving my car. I'll just listen to it.
It's great.
It's a fantastic score.
You know, I spent a lot of time trying to find sounds and stuff for the show. You know, I spent a fortune on Pond 5.
Yeah.
And I haven't heard anything that's like that. Well, there's a couple of things. A couple of things that we picked up.
What was created for this movie was just really haunting in so many different ways.
How did you stitch all that together to make it?
Well,
and then you're telling me somebody actually composed it.
Yeah, someone composed it, and honestly, our sound designer did a great job mixing everything, because it was very specific to us that the scene drive the scene, the characters, and that the music didn't necessarily wasn't on top of the scene. So we kind of had our sound designer.
There's a couple of scenes that have that kind of it's. I won't say a boom, but it's a
it's a transition.
Oh yeah. That's me. That's that's because I really like those when you go to black and something bad is about to happen.
Yeah,
and it was subtle. Tom Samato, our sound designer, he had spent hours. There was, you know what you don't realize in the movie from a technical standpoint is we were like the Wild Bunch when we were going down the river. Any scene down the river was maybe half a mile from a road, even maybe less. And there were trucks. So our sound designer had to like physically remove like
that
track audio.
There's a little bit of
there was a scene that it ruined.
There's a little bit of art mimicking life. All of a sudden, I have this line going through my head. There's a bogey in my shot.
Yeah. Oh, that's my producer. That's my reality TV producing. That was like, because you know I go as my day job, hopefully not for long, but is reality producing, and I have a lot of fun doing it. And it's I've got I am Adam in like if I was an actor, I would probably have played Adam. You know what I mean? But that was the thing. So I had to put in when my reality friends watch the movie, they're gonna know this was a factual thing and not something that it's like we're making a character of a reality TV crew.
Right.
Something that I noticed, and we're gonna wrap this up shortly. I noticed in the bunker there's a map.
Yeah.
That's got a bunch of red dots on it.
Yep. Oh.
Which kind of suggests that maybe this little infection isn't quite so isolated as just the central part of the story seems to suggest.
Yep.
So I'm guessing there's a larger story that might be yet to be told.
There definitely is. We have we're flushing out. I guess you could call it a sequel to
continuation.
It's
like Halloween 2.
More in this universe. Anyway.
It's just Halloween 2. It's just the story goes on.
But honestly, I'm really happy that you picked up on that, because that was something we tried to figure out how to. It was.
Why don't you tell them the real story that me and Mike built that map?
Oh well, yeah, we built the map. We put all the lights in, and we had our prop
it looked
guy
very pro.
The lights. But it was something that we hoped that people would see and be like, okay, it's not just Montrose.
Right.
It's not just Colorado. And recognize the green and the yellow and the red.
Changes. It goes from, it's like
I think there's a scene where you actually see a light flicker and change color.
Yeah. So when we see the bigger, when we give them the bigger story, when someone
it's more
gives us
widespread.
a bigger budget,
right?
That was it. Yeah, that was a really subtle reference to like we knew we contained this world, and how do we show the rest of society?
That it could be bigger. It could be.
So
bigger.
we're really happy you guys.
Yeah, I'm glad
you
picked up on that. That was a tough thing.
I noticed that too,
I
and it was just always kind of blurred, except for one of the last scenes.
There's one scene where I think Marlo was looking at the map, and I think you're looking at Marlo's back or something. I remember, and it's right behind him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, there's California. Yeah. There's Utah. There's Arizona.
And we would just have our our DP or somebody was running the lights behind it, and every scene. And I laid out a grid and said, okay, we had actually shot a few more Marlowe scenes that aren't in the film, just because they told the different story that Mike was talking about. But we had a linear sort of layout of okay, these lights have to be here, then the lights have to change for these scenes, and then by the end, it all has to be these scenes, these colors.
Certain states have to be all red. Yeah.
So how much of this story do you already have fleshed out, or at least
This
pretty much solidified
As
in
of
your
last
mind?
night,
Ready
a
to
lot.
start shooting tomorrow.
Yeah, we definitely could, but we have a lot. I mean, I think we have 3/4 of it kind of worked out.
We had a
now.
lot, and then just like being here and like the excitement, because we were working on other projects, like writing other stuff and just kind of outlining. And then just like it like got us like sparked again. So we're
Cool.
like, okay, I got lots of ideas now. So.
Yeah.
So we have a lot, and we're hoping, the success of this, we can make the next one, and it'll be like Evil Dead 2. We get a bigger budget, sort of not tell the same story, but thematically the same characters, and
maybe something that takes place at the same time.
Yeah.
Oh,
who knows?
Yeah, no, it is. It would definitely. I think we could say it's definitely more going to be a linear story than any because we've done the flashback. There's no reason to sort of go back.
Right, we're going to continue it. We're going to
and it'll be a bigger adventure, like getting more money.
Yeah, definitely.
It wouldn't be something I don't think we would raise on Kickstarter again, because to make this we failed the first Kickstarter.
Indiegogo.
And Indiegogo. Well, the only reason we didn't do Indiegogo is because like what we learned from the first Kickstarter, it's hard enough for people to pledge. Now you're asking them to go to a whole different site when they already went through the rigmarole on the first one.
Right. Well, Alec Peters, who does Star Trek Axanar, that I follow very closely. I mean, they did their first couple of fundraisers through Kickstarter, but they switched over to Indiegogo. And what happens is, if it doesn't make your goal, guess what? You keep the money.
Right, you keep everything. Yeah.
That
would have been nice for our first go around. I think, but I don't think we would have accomplished the film.
Probably.
If we did, we would have done. I mean, honestly,
Done
Kickstarter was really tough. I'm not gonna lie. It was,
it's really an all or nothing.
Yeah, and you gotta like sell out. You
shameless.
You have to be
Yeah,
shameless.
and I know that when Alec worked with Indiegogo with his Axanar feature film that he's doing, he was able to say, okay, fundraiser for building studio. Okay, now we're doing a fundraiser for other kinds of pre-production. So he was always able to lay out step by step what each level of fundraising is going to be.
Right.
Before you can finally say, okay, now Indiegogo fundraising, acting.
Smart. For us, the first one was very rough. The second one, we had a much bigger team, and we had a lot of friends involved and people who wanted to get involved, and most of them came onto the mountain with us.
Right, but I think that's what we learned from the first one. Is that first one was just me and Rob, so.
Begging people.
Yeah, we got 3/4 of what we wanted.
15 grand.
But then we decided
but we lost it all.
All right, we need a team. We need a team pushing it. And that's when everything kind of really came together.
And then we got Gareth. I mean, we didn't have Gareth was in talks for the first Kickstarter, but we couldn't shoot, and because where we shot on a mountain and it being at 10,000 feet, our window was basically mid-July to the end of August.
Then it gets too cold.
Yeah, the snow doesn't melt, and it's all muddy on those roads till June.
It hailed the day the day after we wrapped. It hailed, and the 1 week we were there for pre-production, it poured, but literally overshooting. We were good.
I remember Michael.
The zombie gods were smiling at us.
It was great.
Yeah, Michael looked at me and he's like, it's gonna rain, and I'm like, listen, I was like, we just gotta go. We're gonna do it.
Yeah.
They're GoPros. They're waterproof. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So
as exhibited by being in the water.
So we're just happy. We're just really happy though that the audience has found that we won Best Zombie Film at the Fright Night Film Fest. Gareth won 2 Best Actor awards. We won Audience Choice Award.
I think Gunnar won an acting award too.
He got nominated,
yeah.
We got 5 nominations at the Rest in Peace Hollywood Horror Fest. I won Best Director there, which was the first film award for myself I had ever won.
Yay for you!
I think it represents what Michael and I did. It's not, I don't it sits in the mantle, but it's really the
in our trophy case.
Yeah, it's really the for what we did for 25,000, because Kickstarter and Amazon payments take a cut, so we didn't get 27,000.
No, but it's also validation too, and at least it tells you, okay, not to misquote Sally Field, but you like me, you really like me.
Yeah.
It says that, okay, maybe I'm not wasting my time working on this project.
Can you tell my parents that?
I'm still trying to convince my mom that doing a podcast is worth my free time.
Right. They just don't get it. But we've had so much fun, and now the audience, and last night here at the Phoenix Fan Fest, was almost 200 people, and people going crazy. And like I said, at the the first time we showed it at the drive-in, people were like so amazed at like how different it was, and you know, so now we're hoping like, you know, with like reviews that you guys get and podcasts, we can do that. Like the world, I literally mean the world, will see it, because our film is played in Malta at the Malta Harfest. I didn't even know that was a country.
Malta's actually it's a very, very serious vacation resort.
Yeah,
serious.
Is
so
that like below Italy or something like that?
I'm not sure. My uncle is Maltese. I'm not sure where it's located.
Yeah, I know, but they played it. We're playing in Brazil next week. Torremolinos in Spain is
Brazil loves horror.
Yeah,
and so does Central America.
It said the Amazon. That's where we're playing.
On the Amazon River.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like, oh, that would be cool to go.
That could be really atmospheric.
But would I come back? It's the Amazon. Nothing good ever happens.
If you've seen the river at the TV show,
right.
And we're hoping, and in January, we're hoping we can maybe get to the Cardiff Comic-Con. Garrett's going to be there. We're going to try to fly
cool.
out there.
That'd be great.
So things are happening, and we're looking for distribution, and you know, we've got people interested, companies are interested, but you know, we're just waiting. We know we've got it. We know what we want to do, and what
we have a plan for this film.
For a year. I know films. We just saw a film at Horrible Imaginings that was I'm Killing Me, that was made by Jim Henson, and it just got bought.
Really?
So you know, he'd been on the circuit for 6 or 8 months,
close to a year.
But then there's some that have been on the circuit for a year or so, and they get bought. So
we've got like another 48 festivals we applied to next year. We applied to we've applied to almost 100 festivals.
Wow.
Because we want to know that.
Yeah.
So we've got 11. We've got to know 11.
I will say, weirdly, Colorado rejected us. All of every horror and regular festivals all rejected us. It was
How
weird.
rude.
We came to that. We came to their town.
This is a local film.
Yeah, it was. That used the entire town.
And we love Colorado. I definitely go back to Colorado. To make a movie.
Colorado's a beautiful place.
Yeah. So
maybe the next one they'll
embrace us.
Film it in Denver.
Right. They love us in Denver.
Well, Phoenix has actually become quite a popular filming location as of late. Maybe the next one could be here.
That's true.
That would be fun.
It's just drive out down I-10.
Right. Yeah. Just 5 hours from LA.
Absolutely. And man, nothing made me happy than to see a couple of walking podcasters. Just saying.
Dragging the mic.
Dragging the mic behind you, with blood coming out of my head.
Headphones dragging like an arm. We got it. We figured it out.
So obviously, right now, the big thing that you're doing is just taking this movie and just sharing it at as many places as you can possibly get.
Yep.
What is on the horizon for you two?
Well, more of I'm Alone, and we're writing a couple things. We've got some properties that people are interested for us to write for them.
The more we meet people, the more people like I Am Alone. I think the more opportunities we get to write certain things.
It's
so
all
are you being you're being commissioned to write material?
Yeah,
definitely.
Some that was positive that came out. Some people saw our film, and so we're seeing where that goes. We're excited about it. We've got a classic revenge crime film. We love crime films.
Yeah.
Carlito's Way is one of my favorite. Our
definitely.
favorite film. I remember that was the film that I wanted to be a filmmaker. It wasn't even a horror film. It was Carlito's Way, which is just crime film. So we've got a really great revenge story we want to do, and we've got several horror films that we love to make. We have one, The Patch, that's sort of our homage to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but in our own sort of way. And we're reworking that right now. So
we got a lot of things in the works.
But this is the I Am Alone. This is just us.
Yeah.
There's we have like people who we pay to help us, so they're responsible. But
you are the production team.
But
we get that.
But we love everybody who helps us. But at the end of the day, we're the ones who have to make the decisions for the future. Right. So it takes up. I love it. I mean, to be honest with you,
it takes up most of it.
You understand?
Yeah, we get that.
It's all about the contact.
Right.
We truly understand that.
One of the things that I think will really help set the two of you apart is that you both love movies.
Oh yeah.
That really helps because I immediately am reminded of probably one of the greatest filmmakers who's still making movie stands, Martin Scorsese.
Yep.
The man loves movies, and it shows in the movies that he makes that clearly he is a fan. He just doesn't like to make the movie. He's a fan of watching them. And clearly I Am Alone is a classic example of a couple of guys who love movies, not just making them, but also watching them because there's just the homages in there. I mean, it's not plagiarism. I mean, this is tipping your hat.
Yes,
it's the whole filmmaking process. I love the film because the whole process.
The craft of the film is gorgeous.
That's great.
Oh,
thank you.
That took a lot of forethought. I mean, we didn't know every location we were shooting, like the going down the river,
5,000 acre
land
mountain.
Yeah. But like the river scene was when Garrett starts coming down the mountain, down the river in the beginning. That wasn't in the original script. That was something that came out of going to the town, and we were like, wait, we have a river to use? Okay, well, I guess, can we rework the dialogue? Great, you come down the river. And so so there were adjustments made, and obviously I think all for the better. And again, we just couldn't be happier with the end result. And, we're just hoping, like I said, everybody gets the chance to enjoy it.
What makes the movie great is the passion that you guys had in making it.
Thank you.
I mean, there's clearly no denying that. So if anybody wants to learn more about I'm Alone, the movie.
Or learn more about you guys.
Well, let's start with just how can they learn more about the movie?
To get like the broad information, IamAloneTheMovie.com. We do all the festival updates. We usually change artwork. We're working on updating it in the next couple of weeks. So I'm Alone the Movie. Facebook is Abstract Forces. That's our company. That's updated almost daily. My Twitter handle is CineRob58, CineRob58. And our Twitter movie is I Am Alone Movie. And then we have a Tumblr page, which is I Am Alone the Movie.
And we have Instagram.
Yeah.
Instagram's I Am Alone the Movie, and my Instagram is ManOnFire07.
And my Instagram is also CineRob58.
You guys are everywhere.
We gotta be.
Yeah.
Well, you have to
be.
You
have to be.
If you want to get the product out there, that's right.
My
Saturation is
MySpace
it.
page. No, just kidding.
Wow.
MySpace. Yeah. I was thinking about setting up a MySpace page.
Friendster, is that still a thing?
Well, on that note,
I do want to give a shout out to Patricia Chica.
Yeah, can't thank
Chick
her
Art
enough.
Productions and Chick Art PR. She turned us on to you guys, and we thank her for that.
We love her.
Yeah,
she's
great.
She's been awesome.
Thanks, Patricia.
Yeah,
thank you
for putting this together.
Yeah, because we wouldn't have a chance to talk to the two of you. I mean, this has been great. I can't thank you enough for making the movie. I can't thank you enough for making the movie available for us to see.
Absolutely.
Both privately and at the con. That was fantastic. I mean, it was great to be able to see it in an audience. I very much enjoyed that. It's nice to hear the laughter. On all the funny places.
We didn't know it was great. Sometimes they don't get laughs, and sometimes they get great.
I would point out
great
that
to see those.
There's one great scene where this walker she comes out of this like ditch and
and
these people right in front of us just jump.
Is that the Chasen jump?
It's the Chasen. He's our prop guy, and we put him in waiters, and we were surprised. We were like, is this gonna get us scared? We don't know.
Well, I mean, I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of sitting there, but there's this gal who's sitting right in front of me, and she just literally
jumped out of her seat.
I think she pretty much did, but she definitely bolted. It was great. So if you're trying to get some surprises there, you succeeded.
Yeah.
So Robert, Michael, man, guys, thank you so much for this interview. Thank you for the movie. I mean, I can't thank you enough. It was great.
Thank you. It's so much fun.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, this is Ginny Koch, author of the Alien Catherine Kitty Cat series from Daw Books, part of Penguin Random House, and you're listening to Two Gay Geeks.
And everybody knows what that sound means. It is time for the birthdays. Here are a few selected birthdays for December 7th through December 13th. December 7th, C. Thomas Howell is 48.
48?
Yes, 48.
Wow, he was such a really good-looking kid. That don't sound like, but and he looks kind of rough and tough and leathery these days. But
hey, don't we all sometimes?
Yeah, but there's still something kind of handsome about the guy. I can't help it.
Exactly. And Eli Wallach would have been 100 years old on December 7th. December 8th, Jim Morrison would have been 68.
Wow.
Did you see that meme on Facebook? The dad tells his kid to go to his room, and he says, "The Doors were overrated." Or Jim Morrison was overrated. He says, "I told you about slamming the doors."
Yeah.
Interesting also, on December 8th, Terry Hatcher is 50.
50. So this is really funny because just the other day,
Facebook posted. They have this thing where like picture posted 4 years ago, a picture posted 5 years ago, and 5 years ago, around this time, I met Terry Hatcher at Disney's California Adventure, and I have my photo taken with her, and it's there on Facebook if anybody wants to see it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. That's kind of one of the reasons I put it in here.
Yeah, because of that little bumping in with her. It was awesome. She was really nice.
Yeah. Also on December 8th, Maximilian Schell would have been 85.
Dr. Reinhardt from The Black Hole.
Yes, and Mary Queen of Scots was born in 1542. December 9th, Simon Helberg is 34. Kirk Douglas is 98.
Holy moly, he's still going.
Still getting around.
Wow.
Donny Osmond, 57.
I want to cry now.
I know. Well, my God, we're 2 years behind him.
I'm only 3 years behind him. This is just sick.
Yep. Also, December 9th, Margaret Hamilton was born in 19.
You, my pretty.
Yes.
And your little dog, too.
Yeah, and she was not a bad-looking woman. She really was. I mean, they painted her up, but she was not a bad-looking woman. Dame Judi Dench.
Judi Dench?
Dame Judi Dench.
It's Duty.
I said Duty. Dame Judi Dench is 80.
I adore her. She's 80?
80, yes, 80.
Holy smokes, man. I would not have guessed that one.
I know. Can you believe it? December 10th, Kenneth Branagh is 51. And Michael Clark Duncan would have been 56.
Man, his path, that was so sad.
That was sad, yes. December 11th, Rita Googie Moreno is 83. And if you get that reference about Googie,
you need to see that movie.
Yes. The Ritz. Check it out. It is a scream.
It's a stretch, but I think I can do it.
Yes. And Vampiro would have been 93. Bizet?
Berlioz.
Yes. Hector Berlioz was born in 1803 on December 11th. December 12th, Mayim Bialik is 39 and Bill Nye is 65. December 13th, Dick Van Dyke is 89.
89 years young.
Absolutely. He is still getting around.
And the man has got so much energy. We saw him just a few years ago it was a special charity function, but it was a live performance at the Dorothy Chandler Pavilion of the musical Mary Poppins. And he came out and he reprised his role
elder Mr. Dawes.
Of the elder Mr. Dawes and just danced up a storm.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. He's still dancing. Also, December 13th, Christopher Plummer is 85 and Tony Curran is 45.
I worship that man. Amazing actor. And if anybody wants to question me on that, I point them to a Doctor Who episode with him in it, and see for yourself.
And that's all for the birthdays.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Technorama, the podcast for geeks, because geeks are better than cool. You don't hear someone say, "Get away from me, you cool person." Who's gonna have their 65-inch home theater system installed by the Cool Squad? Not me, that's for sure. How much cool cred do you have? Not enough to care about. Think you'll find any canned unicorn meat at thinkcool.com? It's just a part domain name. They don't even have roadkill in a paper cup. That's why you need to start listening to Technorama, because that's what geeks do. Go to chuckchat.com and listen to Technorama before you turn cool.
Go over to chuckchat.com and listen to our friends Chuck and Craig and us occasionally over at Technorama. And everybody knows what that means.
What does it mean?
Listener feedback.
Hey, feedback. And we got quite a bit of feedback here. Okay, starting with a story that we posted on our website about how Tom Cruise has signed to face off against The Mummy.
The Mummy.
Yes, apparently there's going to be a reboot on that. We'll have the show link or the story link for this on our show notes, so in case anybody's wondering. But we got some feedback from our good friend Brian Weber, a.k.a. Arkle, and this is what he had to say. So many mummy movies in the past 20 years, and not one is an adaptation of Anne Rice's The Mummy, or Ramses the Damned, also known as the only Anne Rice book I ever liked, which, of course, never got a damn sequel, even though there are like 90 freaking Lestat books, and the book ended on a very tasty piece of sequel bait. It's been nearly 20 years since I read that book, and I'm still bitter about that. No kidding. Let me know when that movie gets made. Till then, I'll pass on mummy movies. Thank you very much. Brian, don't hold back.
Yeah, tell us what you really
Come on,
think.
buddy. Share. I mean, don't mince words.
Exactly. Thank you, Brian, always for your comments.
We love your feedback.
We love your feedback. Yes, we do.
And then not long ago, we posted a story about how, and this is kind of interesting, that at the Phoenix Comic-Con Fan Fest, there was going to be a screening of the movie I Am Alone, which, of course, we just heard the interview with Robert and Michael.
Yes.
And we heard something from our good friend Claire O'Leary. And I should point out that for anybody who doesn't know, Gareth David Lloyd is the star of I Am Alone.
Yes.
And so Claire simply wrote back, "Aw, Yanto, I missed him."
Yes. Oh, Claire, just wait.
Just wait. And then we did a story recently about how the upcoming Thor movie Ragnarok is getting a new screenwriter. And our good friend Scott Linder simply left us this. "Hope they don't mess this one up. My wife loves the Thor movies. She'll cut someone."
And yes, she will.
And I remind me not to get on your wife's bad side, okay, Scott?
Yeah.
And then we also recently did a story on the official trailer. Well, actually, it's the second official trailer for Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. And our good friend Scott again left us feedback saying, "I caught the other villain too. Should be very interesting. At least this trailer intrigued me a lot more than the first one did." And then our good friend Lathrop Preston, rented lips people, he writes, "Very cool trailer. I'm actually starting to get interested. I especially like the save near the end." Yes. And
Very
then lastly, on our story about how DC is planning a massive universe, according to Ben Affleck, our good friend Nikki Hunter simply left us with this. "Ha! DC might not want to be outdone by Marvel, but they're already really far behind.
Really far behind.
Lots of catching up to do." She's right.
Absolutely. And we want to hear from you, our listeners. You are important to us. Truly, you are. We really appreciate everybody that listens to our episodes, visits our websites. And if you like our show, or even if you dislike it, we want to know what's on your mind. Tell us what you like, what you don't like. We can handle it. As we heard Morgan Shepherd say, it's all about rejection sometimes.
Yeah, I just need to make sure to have my prescription of Prozac ready before I read it.
Exactly. You can look up our Facebook page as TG Squared Studios or as TG Geeks Webcast, where you can comment on our episodes and articles.
I'm not the only one with the rented lips.
Yes. And the articles that we publish. You can even comment on our YouTube episodes or at tggeeks.com, and you could receive a shout-out on a future episode. You can also call our listener feedback line, and we will play your comment on air. 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357.
Hey, this is Robert Palmer of I'm Alone the Movie.
And Michael Weiss from I Am Alone the Movie.
And you're listening to the Two Gay Geeks.
Oh, let's not tell him what's coming up.
Oh, okay.
Let's surprise him.
We'll just play it then.
And this is Ben Raggington. I am here at Phoenix Comic-Con Fan Fest, and I'm speaking to Gareth David Lloyd. Most people remember you as Yanto Jones from Torchwood, but right now you're pushing something else that's, I think that might have some people interested. What might that be?
I'm in a movie called I Am Alone, which is a horror-mentary, a zombie movie, and a found footage film that's coming out at the moment. It's in festivals at the moment.
Now, how did you get attached to this particular project? I understand you do have some sort of an interest in horror, but what was it about this movie that made you say, ooh, I want to do this?
I mean, I bumped into the director and the producer in Kentucky, in Louisville, during another convention / film festival, and they had this idea for a movie. We got talking, and they asked me whether I'd be interested, and I said, send me the script, and I just fell in love with it straight away. It was a zombie movie. It was a found footage movie, both of which get done quite a lot. But the angle on this was that we got to see a very slow deterioration of the character over time, turning from a human into a zombie, and you got to explore what the psychology and what the physiology of that would be like in much more depth than it's been done before.
Much of your character is, all his footage is very GoPro. When you were actually filming this movie, was it actually done all that way? I mean, were you completely alone? Was there an actual film crew around you during the entire time? Because it looks like you were completely on your own during that entire time.
Oh no, of course the director and the crew were there, sound guys, the art department, they were all there supporting me. But I did quite a lot of the camera work myself using the GoPros. I had to learn how to use those, which was great fun. Did a lot of some kayaking. And yeah, I mean, a lot of the time the crew sort of disappeared, so I did feel like I was alone. It wasn't like there were camera setups where the crew could sort of hide behind the camera. A lot of the shots were 360 degrees. The camera moved all the way around, so the crew would have to disappear, which is probably what probably creates that sort of effect of him seeming like he is completely alone.
Your acting in this is absolutely spectacular, and I really mean that. To be able to show a character who is going through this slow degeneration. Now, one, how did you prepare to show such a degeneration? And two, were your sequences filmed in some kind of a linear fashion so that it'd be easier for you to show that de-evolution? Or did you actually have to film these things out of sequence and then jump from one stage of degeneration to another?
Because of the logistics of filming, a lot of it had to be sort of in and out of the timeline, but we did try to do as much of it as possible in the linear time, and it was an organic process. The sort of degeneration, the sort of exploring the erosion of the character. We had a starting point. I knew where it started, and I explored some real life symptoms of real life illnesses and sort of meshed those together. I just decided which symptoms he was going to have, and they slowly crept up upon him as the movie progresses. It was quite an organic process.
What were some of the acting challenges that you found in creating the role of Jacob Fitz?
It was a lot of luxury with it in a way. Well, I say luxury in a small budget film, but I mean luxury for an actor in the sense that the crew did disappear and I was alone, and I had the beautiful isolation of the Colorado Rockies to sort of play off. I did feel alone, so it was a lot easier than a lot of other work that I've done, where you can see the crew are there, they're in your periphery. A lot of it, I did feel completely alone.
How much of the role did you bring that you brought to Jacob Fitz? I mean, were you able to improvise? Was the script very much set in stone that you had to follow, or were you able to just kind of like given a general idea as to what the character was going to be going through, and then you were allowed to flesh it out completely on your own?
I was definitely allowed to flesh it out because the guys wanted a sort of realistic, sort of spontaneous feel to it. As long as I got the information that was in the script out and got that across, then I was allowed to sort of pad it out with extra character, extra ad-libs and improvisation.
Now, there's been some talk, especially because last night there was the big Q&A. We had the screening here, and there was a really great question and answering panel with you,
Michael Weiss and Robert Palmer. And there was a little bit of talk about that there's a much larger universe that is involved. If there was an opportunity for the return of Jacob Fitz, would you be interested in possibly seeing that in your future?
Absolutely. I mean, it's left quite open-ended. Jacob could still be around. He could be out there wandering around the Rockies, and I'd love to revisit him. I think there are some things that could be sort of nicely bookended that weren't quite in the film.
Now, I have to ask this. This is going to be a real departure, but being that I'm a musician, I have to ask about your music career. What's going on with that these days? Is that still active?
We're on a pause at the moment, a bit of a hiatus. We were going to do a Christmas #1, but moving house, renovating, gutting and building. I haven't really had the time, but the plan is definitely to get back together to either do a single or another album sort of in the not too distant future.
For those people who aren't familiar with your music career, how would you classify it? What kind of genre of music would you say that is?
I'd say it's progressive rock, metal.
Okay, well, given that I'm a big prog rock fan, I can be very interested in hearing it. What's the name of the band?
Lou Gillespie.
Definitely take a look at that. So if anybody wants to follow what you're doing, where you're at in your career at any given time, is there any social media, Facebook, Twitter? How can people follow what Gareth David Lloyd is doing?
I've got the official Gareth David Lloyd Facebook page where most of the news and information comes out on there, but the account that I'm most present on, and it's always me, it's not somebody dishing out the information for me, is my Twitter account, which is @Pancheers, PANCHEERS.
Well, Gareth, I want to thank you very much. Again, I loved I'm Alone. I've seen it 3 times now, including the screening last night, and I described your performance as Oscar-worthy, and I meant every word of it. I thought you were absolutely brilliant in it.
Thank you so much. That means a lot.
So for the 2 Gay Geeks, this is Ben signing off.
This is Gareth David Lloyd, Yanti from Torchwood, Solus from Dragon Age, and Jacob Fitz from I Am Alone, and you are listening to the 2 Gay Geeks.
And we've got a few follow-up items, or actually one gigantic
enormous follow-up item.
Enormous follow-up item, exactly. Phoenix Comic-Con Fan Fest.
Holy God.
Oh my gosh.
Man, did we... I'm sorry, I am still flying high over this one.
It was incredible.
I'm flying high, I can't help it.
Yeah, it was... I mean, what a capper for our 50th episode and weekend that we're going to be recording this, and the 2 interviews that we just had. Oh my God.
It was not just the interviews, but we met some very interesting people,
yeah,
which we hope will pan out in some very positive ways in the future.
Yes, and just lots of wonderful things. Phoenix Comic-Con did a great job.
This was
putting
amazing.
FanFest together.
There
were a bunch of people on Saturday. Oh my God. It was
well,
we
were talking
really crowded.
this afternoon. We were talking to somebody who works for Comic-Con. And he said that with last year, they only had 3 months to put it together. This time they had an entire year to work on it.
Yep.
And I noticed that because last year we only attended on Saturday. And it was a very, very small crowd. In fact, when we went on Friday, I noticed that the crowd that was there was about equal to the crowd that was there on Saturday last year.
Yeah.
This year, now granted,
it wasn't that crowded.
It wasn't as crowded as like
crowded.
Yeah, it wasn't as crowded as like a full-blown Comic-Con, but this there was still a really respectable number of people there. We're gonna have a good story about this on our website, where we're gonna talk about some of the really neat things. That's some fantastic things going on in addition to the panels and the screening.
Yeah, there was 2 screenings. There was I Am Alone, and then there was also Nerdgasm with Tom Lenk, as well as the tons of cosplay. Oh my God, several different
great cosplay.
Yeah, lots of cosplay, fashion shows, and they must have had 6 or 8 of them.
Oh God,
more than that.
More.
Actually. And then there was a BB-8 obstacle
course.
The
BB-8 obstacle course was so cute.
Cool.
We'll have
really
a video of that.
Yep.
In addition to some of the cosplay.
Yes.
And you also got a fun little bit of cosplay going on inside the dealer's room. That was just delightful.
It was really good. there was a video there as well. So
yeah,
we'll have that in the article that we publish for Phoenix Comic-Con.
Yeah, we're gonna have we'll be
put all that in this episode.
No,
but look for the article. We'll release it the same day that the episode is here on Monday.
And all the highlights, which will include photos and some short videos, will be in that article, which should be coming out on Monday. But oh man, and hats off to Phoenix Comic-Con. I really think they hit this one out of the park.
Yes,
I seriously mean that. This was the greatest thing I could have ever experienced. I'm beyond happy.
Lots of media guests, lots of artists, comic book artists. They had lots of panels. Oh my gosh!
Wow!
It was incredible. There were some great panels that were
fabulous panels.
We went to the Morgan Shepherd panel.
Man,
that was on Friday. It was a really cool.
What a joy!
He is just a storyteller.
He really is. He's got just lots of wonderful stories to share.
And it was interesting that Christopher Plummer's birthday is this week because he had talked about Christopher Plummer in his panel.
Yeah, he mentioned how
he loses to Christopher Plummer.
Yeah, and he says, well, if I'm going to lose out on my auditions, I'm in very, very good company. And today, as of the day we're recording this, we got to hear Gareth David Lloyd's panel.
Torchwood panel. Actually,
the Torchwood panel. Yeah,
Miles was supposed to be there.
She was supposed to, but she had to cancel at the last minute. Man, if she had been there today.
Oh my God, it would have been incredible.
Oh man, it would have been standing room only because the stories that she and Gareth would have had together, I mean, his stories alone were just delightful, especially when he started to talk about the shenanigans that are perpetrated by John Barrowman.
Yep. Absolutely.
It was great.
It was a great
God, it was
Comic-Con. Fan fest.
Yeah, and one of the things that you pointed out as we were walking through the dealer's room, which is in the main field of the Phoenix University of Phoenix football stadium, is that you saw so many different levels of cosplay.
Oh my gosh, it was.
Yet everybody is welcome.
Absolutely,
that's great.
From the Uber, I've spent 4 years of my life. I quit my job to make this type of costume, down to the we're really trying to make this costume and it gets better every year, to the we've slapped on a costume that we bought at Costco, to I'm pretending to have a costume on, and everybody,
but it's all okay.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, I think somebody had a towel on that they'd drawn something on, or a sheet that they'd drawn something on, which is cool. I mean, if you put in the effort and it means something to you, you are welcome.
Yeah, there was one that I really have to point out. You and I didn't get it at first until we got closer.
Like, what is this? What is this? What is this?
There's two. They're walking together, and one of them was clearly one of them looked like he was completely encircled in some kind of like cotton.
Yeah,
I couldn't be certain.
What is this? A bale of cotton? I
had no idea. And then the other was a hammerhead shark.
Yeah, and then
but like put together with cardboard. It was very comical.
Yeah.
And then you get up to it, and then you realize,
this is Sharknado.
This is Sharknado.
It was the cotton thing had pieces of sharks' tails and hanging out
there was
of
a little
it,
toy truck
of
the little toy truck of Mater. Was in there as well.
I didn't notice that.
I saw that and I thought, okay, I get this now. I understand what's happening. And that's so imaginative. I mean, was it uber high quality? I mean, like we saw Darth Vader today, which was just amazing. It looked Hollywood.
Yeah. It was really great.
Really great. And, the Sharknado one wasn't up to that quality, but hey, points for imagination.
Absolutely.
That was just brilliant. I was thrilled with everything that we saw. It was just so great, and everybody's just so incredibly friendly. I mean, that's NerdCon. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if that sounds like something kind of negative, but it was just such a great joy to be at that fan fest. It was so much fun, and it's got me even more excited for Comic-Con in June.
Yes, absolutely. I can't wait. I think this time we're going to get a hotel and
stay the entire time.
Do it right.
Yeah,
do it right. And I just have to add that, and I know you feel the same, it was such an incredible experience to be able to interview Michael Weiss, Robert Palmer, and Gareth David Lloyd.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Wow. I mean, I'm still kind of like floating 6 feet off the floor off this one. To be able to sit down and to have that really awesome interview with Robert and Michael. I mean, we set up in their just outside the lobby of their hotel, and just sat down and had a conversation.
Yeah, it was great.
It was just so much fun, and then to be able to go and talk to Gareth this afternoon.
Yeah, for just a few minutes.
It was just a few minutes.
It was really great.
But man, there's not enough wonderful things for me to say about what an incredible gentleman he really is.
Yeah, and also once again, thank you to Patricia Chica of Chica Art Productions, and for helping us and setting that up for us. It was incredible.
And I do also want to add that if anybody wants to know what we thought of I Am Alone, I have a review. Well, we've got the review. It's out there on our website. See what we thought about it. But in short, we loved it.
So if you have an opportunity to go to Phoenix Comic-Con or FanFest next year, do it. It is worth it, even if you go for one day.
Yeah.
And the rates for FanFest are not that expensive.
No, it's rather reasonable.
Yeah, it's very reasonable. So that should do it. And up next time, we promise this next time, we will have our interview with the filmmakers of Conditioning.
Yay!
A movie out of the UK that is going to be released hopefully January, I think they said.
I believe that's what they said.
But we'll have that interview next time. Okay, that should do it for this episode of TG Geeks Webcast. Be sure to check out the article for this webcast episode. We'll have several links on the page, a number of links actually. And remember, you can comment on our Facebook page or at our website, tggeeks.com, or you can leave a voicemail at 469-TG-GEEKS. That is 469-844-3357 from TG Squared Studios. I am Keith Lane. Thanks for listening. I bid you peace.
Cheers.